AM 970 WSTX.
I got Mr. Edwin Eddie Russell here with us. We need to touch bases too, because I have been up there by Buccaneer a couple of times, and I got some footage that I think you would love to see.
I'm
okay,
sure I would.
And I'm gonna tell you something, right? Our bass player, we need to start a special fund so we could import him back here every now and then, because I know he was supposed to be to leave. Because in some of those footage, when you watch him playing that bass, he's not playing an instrument. He and the thing talking to each other. They're carrying on a conversation.
Very intimate relationship going on there.
I really, music is such a powerful thing, but the physical interaction, it's so unique. And in the context that when you watch him, what I see is somebody who is second to none in the world in terms of that instrument. And we have that type of talent here. I mean, I'm looking at the talent here. No, don't get me wrong, I'm picking up everybody else except you. I'm looking at the talent, but I give you an opportunity to be humble, that's all. But you must take it. All right. As you can see, you see what the music does to us, you see? I tell you, I feel all bubbly and positive in the process. So let's turn over to you. Talk a little bit about why you're here today, what you want to talk about today.
I'm here. Good morning, folks.
Morning.
Thanks for having me. I'm here to actually give some information on an initiative that we started in 2013, which was we started to produce concerts on a Christianstead bandstand, and I felt it was important to re-establish the presence of music in the community for the residents, free music and music that they could relate to. Because, and I got this idea from participating several times in the Sunset Jazz concerts in Frederiksted, and I observed that there was no similar activity, parallel activity happening in the East, and I thought that was absolutely necessary, because we have these historic landmarks bandstand. Right now, some people call it a gazebo. I always knew it to be the bandstand.
That's it.
And what's a bandstand for? Bands.
Yes.
Primarily. And I remember days gone by when I used to enjoy, events that were, kind of like focused or centered around the bandstand, and they were cultural events, and they were things, they were events that brought our community together in a very pleasant, productive, happy way. So we were able to share, the good moments of life together and enjoy what life had to offer and socialize. So we started these concerts on the last Friday of every month, not to conflict with the Sunset Jazz, which occurs on the third Friday of the month. So we figured, well, if you miss Sunset Jazz in Frederiksted, you could have the experience of jazz in the park in Christianstead. So that's basically what initiated the endeavor.
Well, I have to say that when it comes to Sunset Jazz and the music here in Christianstead, more is a better situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
More is a better situation.
Sure.
What we're having really is the draw for local as well as visitors become more diverse. It's beneficial to us and the community in terms of, you can't ever say that St. Croix boring. One of the things that if people really check out what's going on, they have more events going on than you have time, money, babysitter for the kids or whatever to go to. And what I like about this, you don't have to worry about babysitters for the kids. You bring out the blanket, they fall asleep, let them fall asleep, and you continue to enjoy the music. And when the music done, you pick them up and you go. you know. So most definitely. So in terms of what's going on and down there, how do you guys do it? I mean, usually it's a thing of labor of love in a lot of ways, but love doesn't always pay all the bills or whatever. So in that context, I mean, how do you guys do it?
Well, we've been supported by the community. We've reached out and solicited, contributions. Basically, it's a community supported event, and so far the community has supported us. I think Miss Lawrence observed an ad I had to put in the paper because we kind of short on funds. Well, the whole community seems to be short on funds, but there's always a way where there's a will. And so we put an ad out in the paper for some help with fundraising, because just people have donated generously. People who have come to the concerts and enjoyed them have sent in contributions. We even went as far as, well, it's a non-profit organization that was formed specifically for this purpose, and also to meet a long-range goal of establishing a community music center. And then after we thought about it, we thought maybe we should incorporate the other arts, but we didn't want to expand or to hang our hat too high. We want to just deal with something that's realistically obtainable. And one of our long-range goals is to establish a community music center to provide an opportunity for members of our community to participate in the educational part of the musical art and entertainment form. A center specifically for this purpose. I mean, we have lots of initiatives of this sort going on, where like Stanley does mentoring, Stanley of the 10 Sleepless Nights, and he contributes a lot back to the community. But we don't have a center, I mean, apart from Island Center, which has deteriorated to like a state where...
Well, that's a whole nother story. The key is we don't have a center.
We don't have a center to kind of,
to galvanize and otherwise have a way that you have a vehicle, because otherwise you got to find a place and everything else. But it could solve both as the place to be as well as a museum for
cultural center of sorts.
Yeah, when you go down to WIM and you see they have the display there on Quelby Music, for instance, and at some point in time that display will come down for another display to go up, and when it comes down, it could mean that it go and pack away, and it may stay pack away for the next 10-15 years. And so a music center might be the next place that they would move to, for people to be able to appreciate that particular display. Not to say that it'll never come down, because there are other displays that may come along for music that it may have to share or yield to, but I could see the benefit of having a center in that context, most definitely. When is the next planned performance?
The next performance is on the 31st. And this one is featuring the theme is Divas of St. Croix.
All right.
So we are featuring female vocalists.
All right.
And we have quite a few in mind. I'm waiting for my brother, who is actually going to be a key element in organizing this, because he's good with female vocalists. He's, his band is...
What happened? He better looking at you? That's what you're trying to say? That's a joke. That's a joke.
No, but
he got a connection.
Sure.
He got a connection.
And his music, which is different than mine, has been centered, around female vocalists. Ever since he started playing professionally, he's always, or for the most part, always had a female singer in his band. That works, and I want to use who's best at what they do for the events, because we try to present something of quality and substance to the public too.
Well, I'm so glad that you announced that, because we're just coming off the heels of the production 7 Women, 7 Purposes that they had just the other day, and so we're on a roll. We can never put women on too high of a pedestal in that context here in our community, from Queen Mary Ann up the road, so it's one of those things. It's just providence that we hear and talk about. In this case, our female vocalist on 31st. All right, but I think that when you see the footage that we did, I think that part of what needs to happen also is a plan to record what goes on, because then you have the benefit of the YouTube of the world to make sure that it lives on.
And it's actually appreciated by people outside this community.
Exactly. So, yeah, that's one of the aspects of it. We have a lot of great performances, but then they become generational things that people discuss, but other people can't really perceive, other than that was a time kind of thing. But when they can see it, they could realize that, wait, no, generations change, but there's certain things that remain constant or pretty much right there. And music is one of those things. You're gone from soul and disco to hip hop to whatever they want to call it, but when you look at the currents running underneath the surface, you see that there's a lot that they have in common anyhow.
I agree with you 100%.
Okay. So what's the name of the organization that's the non-profit?
Community Music Incorporated.
Community Music Incorporated. Nice. All right, that's right on the head of the nail. Yeah. So okay.
Stay close to what it's all about, and well, it's like you said, the name defines what
Okay. Well, one of the things that we need to establish clearly is how the public can get in touch with you as far as making contributions or otherwise participating. Okay. But what we're going to do is we're going to take a pause for the cause, and we're going to talk about those things so that we're not talking it as we head out. We're going to talk about it and give some time so we can delve into that and get the community more comfortable. All right. Hear that music again. Oh my goodness. I'm moving again. In this case, we're taking a break.
Mark the X. This is AM 970 WSTX.
All right, we're back. Stay focused, Doug. Don't give in to the music. Stay focused. We got a guest and we got things to talk about. All right, fantastic. Okay, before we left out, we were talking about CMI, Community Music Inc. All right, and we were just discussing off air about Facebook and how to use Facebook and so forth and so on, and what I see, one of the things we can help out with is helping you to get the CMI presence, just like a lot of other nonprofit organizations, to utilize social media, because you'll be surprised, there are a lot of people out there who are willing to contribute, but you always have to look at the limitations of the media you're using at any given point in time. When we're on here from 8 to 10 o'clock in the morning, that's 2 hours. There are 22 hours left in the day, and at any given point in time, you have different people giving their attention to different things. So the amount of people that are hearing us right now might be relatively small right now. Even with TV, you could have a fantastic show on TV, but if other people are doing other things, they won't see it. But if you have a replay system, a recall system, and that's where Facebook and YouTube and those things come in handy, because then what you're doing now can live on into the future, and that's an important part. Making sure people have all of these different venues through which that they can reach out and touch you, and likewise that you could touch them. Okay, but definitely, and we got to get some of that footage online so people could see and appreciate and want to come and want to contribute, because that's what it's really all about.
Well, I'm going to, at this point, solicit volunteers, because one of our volunteers set up a Facebook page for Community Music Inc.
Well, fantastic! Then you got a platform.
We have a platform.
All right.
However, we still could use all the help we could get in terms of documenting the events and documenting the participation, the people, let's say the interaction between the people, because we have a little spin-off occurring there where we call Decorate Your Space, because you know the people that come out to these concerts in the park, they occupy a little space, they put a blanket down and so we came up with Decorate Your Space contest, which is where we give a little award of some prize that was donated by some sponsor or the other to the person whose space is decorated most interesting.
Oh, that's great.
So, and it was, you know, we did, and then during the month of that Easter was close to, we had, you know, we used that as the theme. Christmas, we probably will use, you know, the Christmas season as the theme of the Decorate Your Space contest. But we need people that can document this event.
All right.
And right now, I am actually totally, completely, you know, involved in producing the music and making sure the musicians are, you know, comfortable with the equipment they're using, and that the sound reinforcement is appropriate. And so, you know, I'm just one person, and
all right. Well, no, well, but this is what it's supposed to be. The name is community. Community have to get involved. It starts here. It starts here. So I'm gonna say to all you photographers out there, amateurs or professional, come out on the 31st down to the Christian Stead Wharf at the bandstand. Take some pictures. Yes, you know, you put your copyright on it and everything, but you could give unlimited rights to Community Music Inc. to utilize it in promoting what they do. So we make sure that the artists get credit for what they do in that sense, and maybe business down the line because somebody just loves how they take pictures, and at the same time to you help to invigorate and otherwise promote Community Music Inc.'s music there on the waterfront down at the bandstand. So calling all photographers, calling all videographers, let's do it, especially when you talk about this Decorate Your Space thing. Yeah. Okay, because I could see the children getting all into it. Oh, number one, and you know I could see them posing for their pictures and competing for the camera all the time. Oh. Yeah, so it's all good. It's all good. It's a no-brainer. It just makes sense.
Yeah, it's evolving to an event not unlike the ones that we experienced growing up here, and we didn't have all the technology at our disposal.
Hey, let me ask you something, okay? And I gonna be I gonna be a little bit nostalgic here. I remember a song. The words: "People moving out, people moving in." Why? What was the name of that song? As Temptations. Yep. Okay, but I remember that song being played up at Lagoon. I remember that the soul Busters was playing up at Lagoon.
Oh, yes.
And that's one of the times that I believe the Christmas festival had moved up to Lagoon that one time. I don't know that they did it more than once, but I'm just saying I remember that song, The Temptations. What's the name of that song? Anyhow, it'll come back to me. Anyhow, general public out there, I know some of you know what song I'm talking about. 7730390, 7730490. It was a Temptation song, and Soul Busters, yeah, that's history. I know you got some folks out there with some pictures of Soul Busters. You know, we need to have a display done at WIM or otherwise about the Soul Busters, because that was an era. That was an era. Yeah. All right, so we've got you involved in the music, and you recognize your limitations just like I recognize my limitations, which is that we all need help. That's why we come in from the perspective of community. So if somebody wanted to get in touch with you directly with regards to contributing, how do they do that?
Well, my direct contact line is. You need my phone number?
Well, if you want to give that live, then that's fine.
That is very good. That's 340-277-3914.
Can you say it again?
340-277-3914.
Okay.
That's
okay.
Where you can contact me.
All right. And I'm going to take a look at the Facebook site, and anything that I can help in that regards, okay?
Right.
Definitely, and we're gonna work on the documentation thing, okay? Because the bottom line is that it has to live on beyond that particular evening. It's the Friday night, and the way things work out. Friday is the youth program at the church that my daughter participates in, and a lot of times I am there doing the other babysitting, whatever, but I gonna have to come down the road and I gonna challenge this young man for us to set up a site so we can decorate our space, okay? So you have repurposed my Friday evenings now. So on the 31st, my God willing, my Friday night has been repurposed as to how I will be spending my Friday night.
Well,
okay,
I did my good deed for the day.
The day, yes, one of them. We try and add them up,
Sure.
Decorate our life space competition.
I've been a goer to the Jazz in the Park myself, and I'm like, it's always full. It's always packed. It's nice. You come out there, you come with your stuff, sit down, and you enjoy under the stars.
Oh yes.
All right. So in terms of government support, whether it's public safety or whatever the case may be, how are you interfacing with those folks?
Well, these guys have stepped up to the task, and in terms of the park service, we have to pay a fee for the park recovery, but the National Park Service people have been so cooperative. They've kept the parking lot open. They open the bathrooms. They have the security, and they've coordinated with the VIPD, the police department, to have the presence of the security there, and we've not had any problems so far. It's been a very family-oriented, peaceful, relaxing affair, and we're very thankful for that.
Fantastic.
Because they have contributed to that, creating an atmosphere that's secure and safe. And I should add that the business community has benefited from this initiative also, because we have an increased amount of people in town. More people come in town on the Fridays of the concert.
Yep.
And they sit. Sometimes they may come in town and have a few cocktails on the park and then go for dinner. So the restaurants have benefited from this, and they have in turn reciprocated by supporting us also. Some restaurants close by have expressed, that they benefited and they appreciated it, and they have shown their appreciation by
all right,
contributing. So that's good.
You know that old saying, one hand can clap?
Can't
well,
clap.
I'm hearing the applause.
Yeah.
I am hearing the applause, and that's great. That's fantastic. All right, okay. So, well, the bottom line is Community Music Inc. needs community support. It needs financial support. And one of the things, hopefully, that through WSTX, this community-minded station, that we're going to have more people be aware now and be willing to step up to the plate. All right. What I want you to do when we take our next break, I want you to give me the contact information for the person who does the Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay. And what I will do is we can talk about Jazz in the Park, especially every Friday that it's coming up. I could tell you every talk show host in here gonna want to talk about it, simply because it's us and it promotes a part of the Virgin Islands that a community-minded station will want to promote. Okay, so we're going to see some good things happening in that regard. All right. Well, it's been a pleasure having you here, and I'm looking forward to one attending and bringing you back so we could follow up on this conversation and build. Okay, and keep that in mind, because you might be doing something good. But if you don't keep reminding people, they can actually forget. Other things overcome and so forth. And all the organizations that come in here, this is one thing I tell them. You've got to be persistent. Don't think that you're bugging anybody. You're just sharing information. Because there are a lot of people who don't know. If they don't know, they can't support, they can't participate. So WSTX here as a community-minded station is here to help. So we're going to take a pause for the pause. And we had Edwin Russell here talking about Community Music Inc. And we'll see you in a few.